This video contains the top 3 best Town Hall 14 attack strategies to 3-star any base. Let's kick things off with Mass Electro Dragons with 1 Overgrowth as our 3rd best attack. This is unlike the double Overgrowth version I've mentioned before because you're going to be starting this off with a Flame Flinger. The main idea is to be able to create a bit of a funnel on the defensive side, so getting rid of defenses on the interior part of the base with the Flame Flinger is really good. You just want to be very careful of things like Teslas or skeleton traps, or of course even mortars and expos, both ground and air. Otherwise, you just want to be sure that that creates a really nice funnel. Using super barbarians to kind of set more of the funnel, especially for your Electro Dragons, which you then want to also set the other side of your funnel. This is going to be with your Barbarian King and Archer Queen. Having a way to possibly break into the base is always going to be very nice, and as long as you can have your king clear a given area to control your E-Drags further, that really does help. With the queen, she can honestly follow behind the king or possibly even move in to remove the town hall, especially if it's on an anti-3. But otherwise, your queen can set even more of a funnel as long as she's being tanked for. This then allows you to have your E-Drags to start moving in. From here, you're going to spam in your Electro Dragons. You can bring in the use of a bat spell, especially if there is a single target inferno, to act kind of similarly to a skeleton spell. Otherwise, you're just going to send in your Electro Dragons as you move in with an Overgrowth on the back end for the Eagle Artillery. This will allow you to use the Rage spell and an early Grand Warren ability to keep your E-Drags alive and healing them up in the process. But the Overgrowth is being used in order to basically stop the Eagle Artillery from doing heavy damage, which really benefits Electro Dragons, and as long as you can get close to it, it's really good. Outside of that, rage spells should be used to really power up your E-Drags to get a lot of great chain. The other thing is freeze spells, as you want to freeze up a lot of heavy hitters, as that is what's going to really make or break the attack. And if you can use any of your freeze spells to support your Royal Champion on the back end, you can also do that too. You have a lot of opportunities to get value from each of the spells, including the Overgrowth, and you can honestly get a 3-star more often than not. It's not only a very fun version of the strategy, but you have a lot of flexibility with it since you have a lot of options for funneling and of course the Overgrowth to lock down the back end. Now for our second best army, we have the Super Witch Smash, which has gotten a lot better since the update. Pretty much, you're going to be using a Warden Walk with the Rage Gem to basically start the process of creating one side of your funnel. Now you should be bringing in the Zapquake, so using 1 Earthquake and 5 Lightning spells to remove an Inferno and possibly any other defenses around there can very much help and control the pathing that you take with your Super Witches. But pretty much, your entire goal is just to set part of the funnel with the Warden Wall. And if you are going into an area where you're being hit by 2 expos, it might be a nice benefit to use a freeze over one of those expos just to slow down the damage. Now you should be setting the other side of the funnel with the use of the King with either the Siege Barrack or the Flame Flinger. The Flame Flinger is a lot better if you can reach key defenses with it, but you can also use the Siege Barrack as it's just a really nice way to set a part of a funnel and then have your back end CC troops come out and really help the rest of the attack. Pretty much it comes down to your personal preference, but I usually prefer the Siege Barrack, especially in Super Witch attacks, but this will allow you to send your Super Witches into the base. So from here, you're going to lure over the Warden with the Super Witches, you'll have your Queen moving in with an Electro Titan and the Ice Golem, and you can basically start by using an early Rage and Jump spell to connect the inner part of the base as like the core. Pretty much what you're doing is you're trying to move everything in using an early Grand Warren ability to help keep everything alive as you work deeper in. Using a Rage in the core will really help your Super Witches, any big boys, or even the Electro Titan that you might have. So overall, you have so many options in terms of this, and the Super Witches are going to be able to stay alive. Just being able to keep the healers raged up, and they're already technically raged up with the Rage Gem, this really benefits the entire attack as a whole, considering Super Witches have gotten a lot better and they're not as weak as before, since hero equipment has definitely made them a lot more consistent to use. Otherwise, you will have a back-end Royal Champion to help clear through the back-end part of the base, which makes it much easier for you to have the Super Witches stay alive, and you won't really be getting time fails with something like this as long as you bring cleanup troops. Now, a strategy that has been a bit nerfed but is still incredibly good is Super Archer Blimp Dragons. Pretty much, it is the exact same story. It's an entire spam attack. You're still going to use dragons on either side to set your funnel, which is going to be all you really need, and then this allows you to send in the balloons, the dragons, the Grand Warden, and your heroes. You don't need the Apprentice Warden for a strategy like this. Just take balloons and dragons and you're all good. Overall, you're going to use an early Grand Warden ability to protect as many of the balloons, dragons, heroes, and the blimp as you can. Otherwise, you're just going to kind of let them do their own thing so you can focus in on the Super Archer Blimp. This is where you'll use an invisibility once the blimp drops, use two clones, use another invisibility, and the rage, and then this will allow you to time that invisibility every 4 seconds. You can get massive value this way, and this allows you to also go ahead and remove the Town Hall. Your Royal Champion is going to be used on the back end while your Super Archer Blimp is getting value, and this will allow you to get a lot off of the base, which then really just makes it very easy for you to just clean house, because this attack has so many dragons still alive thanks to the healing tome. You've got your heroes still working themselves deeper into the base, and you've got a back-end Royal Champion with your Super Archer Blimp clearing out the Town Hall. It's honestly a really difficult strategy to stop. It's super easy, it's super consistent, and despite the Super Archer nerf, it's still very worth using. So with the changes of the previous update, this has definitely made certain attacks a lot better and a lot more flexible to run. So I definitely implore that you guys try any of these. Of course, if you do want to get into Warden Walks or even using the Warden Walk with the Fireball, I would recommend checking out this video right here, as it will allow you to learn the basics to the advanced techniques of the Warden Walks.